Hey, Moms in Real Estate. It's me, Kristen, and my partner in crime, Randy. And we wanted to have a space inside of Moms in Real Estate that answers some brokerage questions because you guys, we get them all day long. Those are comments that we're
Every day.
constantly seeing. Yes. What brokerage should I join? What brokerage are you at? Tell me the difference between Real, Epic,
Yeah.
EXP. So, really, like this spot, we want it to be like you can come and cheer your brokerage on in the comments, leave videos, leave links, whatever you want to do, totally great. We wanted to come on here and just say, like, we know that there's not like a one size fits all for brokerages. We'll share with you guys. We're at Real. I've been at an independent brokerage. I've been at EXP. I'm at Real now. Randy's owned a brokerage. She was at EXP. She's at Real now. We can give you our perspective of why we love Real and share it with you. If it resonates with you, we'd love to talk to you. But otherwise, just like go in and see what the comments say, ask
Yeah.
questions in there. But where should we start, Randy? Maybe like tell everybody like maybe your top two or three reasons that you're at Real?
Yeah. So, I mean, it started with like, I understood that what was offered at cloud-based brokerages as a broker, I could see that there was no way we could offer the same value stacked to our agents, right? To really honor our agents being in different seasons of life. And then I was at a cloud-based brokerage and I was building and I loved it. And I was having great success. But when I looked around, it wasn't like all the women that I wanted to build with, right? And when I looked at Real, what I saw was a model that was more, the opportunity was more equally distributed and it worked for everyday moms. It allowed you to just have a healthy, simplified production business and then rewarded you well just for, like bringing people to the company or, just selling houses and getting stock. And so what I loved is as we made the move over to Real and I looked around, it wasn't like I was just hanging out with all the big guys anymore and watching the team leaders win. Now I was watching like the everyday moms win. And I will say, Kristen, I think one of my favorite things is, and it took me a little while to like reframe my thought process around it, but is watching people come into Real and have us as a resource, like when they need us, but then getting to navigate and explore Real on their own and like find their own people and their own connections that honors the season of life and business that they're in.
Yes, I love it. I love seeing people like one of my favorite parts about Reel is like if you or I host a call inside of Reel, everyone's invited. And so what I've loved is seeing people come into Reel and finding like what you're saying, like what works for them because everyone's goals are different, right? So if someone comes to me and Randy and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I really am like going gung ho on marketing this year is my biggest focus." And we're like, "Okay,
Mm-hmm.
perfect," because there's this call every single week called Rev B that we need to plug you into. It's open to anyone
Right.
at the brokerage. But it's a mastermind every single week that these top people are doing, and they're doing it for everyone in the company. And there's so many of those. So it's really just identifying like what rooms do you need to be in to accomplish those goals and let us connect you to them. So I absolutely love that because it sky's the limit because at the end of the day, like you might partner with Randy and I, and we're going to be there for with you forever, right? We're going to be such a great resource for you, but you don't want to learn from us every single week. You might get sick of
Yeah.
hearing from us every single week. So the fact that we have all these amazing people in the company to be able to link arms with and really help has been like a game changer.
Yeah, I was just on a call with an agent and we were talking about it. And I think one of the things that I love about Real is that it's so vast and it has so much, but it's digestible. So
Yeah.
I know that one thing that I used to be trying to plug agents in, and it's like ironic to say, but it was like they were overwhelmed with the amount of opportunity, amount of masterminds and the amount of calls and the amount of things. And so something that I do love about Real is it really honors people like their ability to go in and like digestibly find what works for them right now in their business. And you kind of hit on the head, Kristen, is like it looks different, right? Like somebody might, the way they're building in year 3 is going to look completely different to how they're building in year 6, or when they have newborns and they're breastfeeding is going to look completely different than when they have elementary kids. And so I love that like we as sponsors, we get to be somebody that helps expedite and simplify the plugging in. I've heard that analogy, Kristen. Have you heard it where it's like, I think I've said it a couple of times, but I get to be your extension cord. I get to help you plug
Yes.
in faster,
Mhm.
right? So you're not like trying to fumble and find the outlet. I just get you plugged in. And so it's like we get to be that shortcut to help you to get like exactly where you need to be. And that's one of the things that I love, along with the fact that I'm a producing agent and I love simplicity. I love one login. I can't remember 10.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's funny because just, we had so many people, so many high producing agents when we all came over together and that was the most common response was like, This is the best system I've ever seen because it's just so simple. And we're just trying to keep it simple, stupid. I always say that. The KISS method, right? So just like making everything in our business more simple. And that's a huge thing. I want to tell you something that was like, I literally like barely understood this when I came over. And now it's like probably my favorite thing is that not only is Real a brokerage, but they're also, they have fintech, right? Financial technology. So
So
the
good.
way that it was explained to me that really makes sense, and now I'm like using it and I really love it, is that it's kind of like Starbucks. So like you have your Starbucks app, you load $10 on there and you go and buy a coffee. Well, that's like they're a bank. And so they're actually one of the biggest banks because of this. So Real actually developed this. And so we have inside of our one login, our account, you log in and you've got all of your transactions, you've got your rev share, you've got your training, you've got everything. You have this thing called Real Wallet and it's a bank account, okay? So every time I have money coming in, it goes straight into my Real Wallet because I've opted into it. And I've allocated, they follow the profit first model. I've allocated 25% to automatically go into a tax savings account. They're about to release other buckets where we're able to allocate other percentages of money to go into other accounts. And then that the leftover goes into my real debit account, and I can click move, and it moves into my Mid First account, or I leave it in there. Now, if I leave money in there, it's actually accumulating points, so that it's paying down broker fees. So it's
Yeah.
really cool because then there's another element where I have real capital, and so it allows me to borrow money from real capital based on the income coming in and the money that's sitting in there. So I actually utilized this because I was so excited when I logged in one day and had $190,000 that I could borrow. I was like, holy crap, I want to see
Right.
what this is all about. So I literally I borrowed money and the interest rate was fantastic. It showed up in my account 2 hours after I applied for it. And talk about leverage, you guys. Like this is huge as you're running businesses and you're able to have that and that ease. It was so seamless, so easy to pay off, and just the whole process. So, anyways, that aspect of it has quickly become one of my favorite parts of Real.
It's so funny that you said like it was something that once you came over, because as a producing agent, I did come over, primarily for the simplicity of ease in the systems, the way that I could run my transactions, the way that I could tap into the tech and, and the AI and just ask questions that don't need to ask my TC 50 times a day. But then as I got here, I realized just like you did with the capital that the platform was so much more robust. And then I was able to, I had always kind of, when I was a franchise broker, I had dreamed about like diversifying beyond my own local market. And I just tried to go I'm in Northern Nevada and I just tried to go to Southern Nevada. And it was like a logistical nightmare. I had to fly down there. I had to take like 3-day training to become a member of the board. It cost us like $4,000. And that was just to be like in our full state. And it was like hard and I was still bottlenecked. And then I came over to Real and I now have a team that is in 6 states. And I efficiently am able to run that team. We do sales in 6 states. Like it's wild. I was looking like, we're closing deals in Georgia, we're closing deals in Indiana, Arizona,
That's so
all these different
cool.
states. And so it really is our platform on the back end that sets us up to be able to run everything. And so whether you're running, a micro team locally or you're running a national team that you want to have expansion on, the efficiencies on the back end of our platform. And now recently, like even adding a TC role and giving them specific authorizations, like it just removes all these bottlenecks. Like there's no more green sheets. I'm not going back and like approving green sheets for commission. I'm not going back and forth trying to get stuff done last minute. Like everything is done in one spot: the communication, the docs, the files, the approval, the commission distributions. It's like it's seamless. And that's so
Well,
it's funny that we both learned that after being brave enough to take the jump, right?
yeah. Well, and we get asked that all the time, like, how do you get a hold of a broker at
Yeah.
a cloud-based brokerage? And it's so, for one, I call them. But also like just having the like your back end where you just go into your office and you've got their phone number, their email, you've got every broker listed, you've got WorkVivo to talk to them, and then each file, when you do talk to them, it's recorded, so
Right.
you have a transcript, and it just makes everything super easy. Now, I will say, like, we're growing and we're growing like crazy. So are there growing pains? Yeah, like we actually had growing pains here in Arizona when I first came with our broker team. And because there's somebody who listens, like literally, I will tell you, this company listens when you have something to say so well. And so being able to bring, our opinions, our advice to the company, I literally watched them completely changed the broker team here in Arizona, and it's literally amazing. Like so, so great. So I just think that part of it, experiencing that as they were growing was really cool.
Well, and I think that that kind of leads to two other points too. So I saw that similar, and they said, the broker team said something to me that was really powerful. They said, we're fully aware that not every broker that we opened a state with is the broker that's meant to grow the state, and so I think that that was really they put a lot of forethought into the fact that like, okay, step one is getting open in every state. Step two is like leveling up that culture and that experience, and I feel like they're well into step two. So I love that. But on that note, what is important when you choose a sponsor and you do align with somebody is like where are they plugged in, right? Where are they plugged into the company? And Kristen and I both have the opportunity to be part of the builders organization, and I'm really excited. It's brand new. In fact, I don't even think I told you this, Kristen, but I'm going to Miami at
Oh,
the end of, yeah, I'm going to Miami the end of April. I didn't think I was doing much traveling this year, but apparently I am,
you are.
because I have the honor to be on the leaders, a small group of leaders at Real that are helping all of the builders and all of our agents, because they Real cares so much about making sure there's not a gap between the agents and the company. And so we're getting together and just having a conversation on what that looks like. And so I love the fact that Real has agents so integrated all the way up to the top, so that it's like we understand the struggles of today's market, right? It's just like when you have a mentor, like if you have a mentor that sold real estate like 15 years ago, that's great, but there's a huge disconnect because they're not in the mud today. And so when we're having these leadership conversations, agents that are in the mud today that understand the and the inventory problems and the expectations and all the issues and the complexities and the fallouts and all of that that's happening, like that is being taken back to Real, and Real is building for us as agents accordingly.
Yeah. Well, kind of on that, on like a similar note, like where it's like boots on the ground. I love this. So because I get asked this all the time, especially from moms in real estate calls, is like, okay, like I really want really great training. And so just so you know what it looks like, you guys, when you log in, you go to something called Real Academy and you go into Real Academy and it's literally like a library full of amazing resources. You can filter them. If you're a new agent, if you're a team
Right.
lead, if you're a solo top producer, you can type in YouTube and all of a sudden all the top YouTube agents at the company have literally recorded classes that they're sharing with you. Now, when I say these people that are recording, we call them elite agents. That means they're selling about 30 or more homes a year. That's who's teaching in our academy. So if you're typing in YouTube and a class pops up by Kelly Cook, it's because Kelly Cook is actively selling that many houses a year and he's sharing all of his secrets with you. Because if he does, Real's also giving him $8,000 a year as a cultural award. So there's so many different like layers here, you guys, where it's so cool because the company gives us as agents, they give us back so much in stock. They give us stuff in revenue share. It's just such a cool company. And I love, love, love Real Academy. I think it's been such a great aspect of the company.
So good. And I think that just to bandwagon on that a little bit, there's two components to our Real Academy. And so there is our academy and then there is our community. And so what's really nice is if you're looking for like masterminds, like I want to be on live calls, I want to be talking to people, I want to be ingrained in like some type of culture and communication, like then you can go into that portal and you can find all the masterminds. And so like on every Tuesday, Dustin Brom and I host a production based mastermind. So you could get on that call, or like to Kristen's point, you can get on with Katie Day or all these amazing leaders, and you can jump on that call and you can attend it live and be part of the conversation. And you can show up and say, hey, here's my win or here's my struggle. And you can actually, collaborate and, give contribution as well as get something. But then on the flip side, I was talking to a mom that is in a dual career and she is in the hospitality industry, and she knows that she can make this pivot from, leading in hospitality to leading in real estate, but she needed that education not at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon because she's working. And so when you go into the academy, then you can get it all recorded and you can watch all of the previous recordings and go through the courses. And so I love that you have the community and the academy so you can choose which one, and kind of pick and choose back and forth.
Yeah, and as you guys can see, like Randy and I are just having organic conversation about why we love Real. We could go on all day, which then you guys are
Yeah.
going to be like, "Holy crap, Kristen and Randy,
Overwhelmed.
there's so much stuff." So really just know like there's a lot. We didn't even like really get to break into it. And if you guys are like, "Hey, I want to hear more about this," just book a call with us. We're like it's super
Mhm.
fun to dive into like your business and hearing like, okay, if this is what you're looking to do, this is how we might see it looking for you if you moved over to Real. And we would love that opportunity. So again, like this is a spot for you guys to come if you're looking for a brokerage, see what everybody's saying, be able to go through the comments. And again, people will post videos, they'll post links, they'll
Yeah.
post all of their opinions. Hopefully all positive. Let's try to keep this a positive environment. And then this is just our kind of why we are where we're at and why we love it.
Yeah, and there's so much more. You can use the link maketherealmove.com to book with us. And if you want specifically one or the other of us on the call, just put that in the notes. There's a couple questions it asks you. But also, one of the things we hear a lot is like, we have a lot of people that post anonymously because they don't want to get bombarded. They don't want to like get saturated or feel pressure or feel anything. And so, again, we want to encourage you, like, share why you love your brokerage in this, because it's going to be a resource that we point so that people on their own time can go through and like really read this. So, we're just excited to create this space where we have a conversation, because the great news is that the real estate industry is changing and more brokerages are moving towards models that better serve agents. And we just want to highlight those brokerages in general as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
All
All right, we'll
right,
see you guys
guys.
in the community.
Bye, guys.